All right, welcome everyone again to the Zoo Crew Redo podcast here. Scott Hastings. And you know what? We're going to make it a true Zoo Crew. It's like Zoo Crew Revisited. Mark Andrews with us, although no one's going to know him as Mark Andrew.
Did you say Andrews? Did you say Andrews first, the plural?
I said Andrew. Andrews, Mark Andrew.
Yeah, it's Mark Andrew. You said Andrews. Do you want to start over?
Dr. James Andrews.
That's what I was calling Burroughs the other day.
No, I did too. Yeah. And then people get mad at you.
Hey, there's not an S on the name.
There's nothing better than guys sitting angry in his car waiting to text you the first time you screw something up. We love
There's
that.
not an S on the name.
Yeah.
Just waiting to pounce.
Yeah. Sorry I made it plural for half a second. My bad. But you were the voice of Whitey.
Yeah, Whitey Stram.
Chick and Whitey.
Yeah.
I was not Chick. Everyone says, weren't you Chick? No, I wasn't.
You were Angry Andy.
Yeah.
You were Angry Andy.
The
I mean, that was
guy
your
on that thing.
The funniest
Hey,
thing.
the audio's working.
Hey, the audio. Hey,
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Thank
Hey,
you.
say hello to everybody, Jeremiah.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
we
then
now
Jeremiah
have
can
a sound
use the
guy.
boom box.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
So-
Stay away from the red vines.
The two things I always get are, were you Chick and whatever happened to Chick?
Yeah, whatever happened. Well, the funny thing about Chick, and tell me this isn't true, and if you ever watched the old Zoo, and if you didn't, hang on, we'll talk about something that you don't like too. Everybody tried to do his voice.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody tried to imitate Chick McGillicuddy, right?
Right.
I don't even know who was the best at right.
None of us were. Can we say it? Patrick was Chick.
Patrick Watkins, yeah.
Patrick Watkins was Chick.
And if anybody knows where he is, would you tell us?
Yeah, have him
we
call
don't
us.
know.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened to Chick.
He's pretty much living his character of the Zoo Crew days, actually. He's pretty much living. Listen, seriously.
Trying to find Luke Skywalker in that last.
He's
probably on the
Luke
same island.
Skywalker.
He's with Luke Skywalker.
He's probably at some ocean island where you're floating above
Not taking any calls.
floating above the rocks 2 feet going, I don't know what we're going to do, Wiley.
And you know what? We probably would have to send a cute girl to find him to get him to come out of the
All right. Inside. You know what we got to keep track?
It's not so
inside
inside.
joke number 1.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's why it's the Zoo Crew redo. So give him a little Whitey, can you?
Ball.
Never goes away.
Can I say something? Here is the funniest thing for me, looking back on the old Zoo Crew when we did that stuff. That joke that you just guys started doing it because a chick had thrown it to you and you were out covering a sport, and you just kept interrupting him. And it was
The funniest part, what?
Yeah.
the funniest part about some of the bits you guys did. They were semi-planned. You had a couple of jokes written, but there was always something. You would either try to shock him or he would try to shock us, and you never knew when it was coming. Like I said, when he threw it to you, he was doing sports one day. He did the whole sports update as Chick. Throws it to you on remote, and then every time you threw it back, that's why they back to you, Chick, and you kept interrupting.
I think I would just stop, and then he would start to talk, and then I would start to.
It interrupted me, yeah. But it was
You
but it was the
legit-
funniest stuff though in the world. That one, I mean, you guys
You
planned stuff.
legit
That wasn't planned.
frustrated him that day. I don't know if you remember that.
He
He was
was
getting
away.
so mad.
He was legitimately the bad guy.
He got me one time when Chick McGillicuddy was out on remote, and it was a Green Bay Packers playoff game that was like 30 below. And he's doing the whole update, but he's talking.
Oh, wait, that was the Tuck game, wasn't it? Wasn't it the Raiders?
Yes.
and the,
Maybe
The
it might have
original
been.
Tuck
It
rule.
might have
in
been.
which
The original
Tom Brady
Tuck
was a
rule.
rookie.
And so that's how we checked in. But it was like freezing cold there that day. And we kept checking in. And it's like, first of all, Chick, what's wrong with your voice? And basically, the long story short, if you ever watched the Christmas Story, right?
Yes.
Like Ralphie.
Yes.
He was doing the whole report with his tongue stuck to a goalpost in like 20-degree below. And I had no idea that's what he was going to do, man. I literally lost it on the radio for 20
he kept
minutes.
trying to say, "There's a crow." Do you remember that? It's on the Zoo Best of Zoo CD.
Is that on there?
Yeah, it is.
But when you hear me laughing, I mean, that's
Yeah.
legit.
Oh, yeah.
I had
The
no
bit-
idea he was going to do
The
it.
bit was around Christmas. Probably that's why I was inspired by. That's probably what inspired
Right.
it
Because it was
that
cold.
movie
Oh,
was
that's
probably
right.
on
Oh,
TV right around there.
yeah.
Well, and it was, for those that don't, I will say this, I think for all three of us, whether it was Mark or myself or Patrick, getting you to laugh was really the only key to the bit. That was the only reason why we did have the bits was to see if Scotty, because you have an infectious laugh. Now you're ugly as sin,
it's a
but
little,
people like to
little
laugh.
like, little like flu. Yeah. Well, how about this one? Do you remember this Chick McGillicuddy bit? We were at spring training, and we said we want an interview. And so he goes into an actual bathroom with the echoing and the sound.
Yeah.
And he pretends like he's interviewing Sammy Sosa. And he would ask the question as Chick, and then he would bounce the microphone along the floor, and then he would be Sammy and go, I like baseball. That's all he said.
Between stalls.
Yeah, but that was the whole bit. Every question he asked him, I love baseball very, very much.
Very good.
And you guys did the haunted house of baseball too, did you?
No, but that was one of the early ones. That was
Yeah.
Early days.
The haunted house
How
of
did you guys come up
baseball.
with that? Because that predated my arrival. By the time I got there, it
I-
was
Ivan
just give me a
Sikorsky.
chick, and that was it.
Ivan was
became an
cracking.
intern about 5 minutes after that.
Is that?
Yeah.
Well, those are good times. How much do you
We
miss that
actually
right now?
started. Yeah, well, it was when you could have fun on radio instead of just.
Oh, we
make sure
couldn't-
you're talking about the Denver
Hey,
Broncos.
look, but we couldn't get away with half those bits on radio now, thanks to Janet Jackson and the nipple scene.
Yeah,
That changed everything.
No, thanks to Harvey Weinstein. You think about some of the stuff that we did.
Yeah.
That,
Oh.
The Ashley bit.
2004 or 5.
Sugar Britches
Oh
Ashley?
my God, the Ashley bit about Anna Kournikova.
No.
No, it was about Alyssa Milano.
Listen,
There
Milano.
was a lot of
You bring. I'll bring the
like,
chloroform. You bring the struggle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was some
geez.
very
Can't
bad.
believe you even said that now.
Well, it's a podcast. It's the internet. But it was stupid stuff. It was all edgy. But also everybody came to expect be funny.
Oh, when
Right.
we said goodbye to Scotty when we had our farewell show, half the stuff we were playing, I'm like, I'm not sure we can. I'm not really sure we can do this anymore. So
It's the arc of like just when you think about like what was acceptable content then.
Oh, to now?
To like right, it's incredible. Like even just over like 15 years.
Listen, it was so
how incredibly
sexist,
different it is.
misogynist. We would take callers and say, "Hey, so what do you wear?" You know, you always do stupid stuff that was innocent and funny, but it also shows we've lost a lot of innocence, like in society today. Because really, I mean, everybody's so sensitive about everything. Sometimes rightfully so, sometimes not rightfully so. That you've lost. I mean. You're right. You could not do the zoo like we did it. Like that tape you got,
dude,
would be
KBPI could
X'd.
exist. Remember Dean and Raj? Dean
Yeah,
and Raj
oh,
couldn't do their
especially.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Rick and Kathy and Lewis and Floorwax I'm talking about, they couldn't do half the bits they were doing.
Right.
Temptation Tough Shed, somebody would get upset about that.
I don't know how Howard Stern he's kind of a media darling. Like, how does he get away with some of the stuff?
Well, you know
that he-
how?
Why doesn't somebody pull something he did 20?
Because-
if they did, he could totally toast him.
Because think about this. He went to satellite radio at the perfect time. It was right when, because he was starting to catch a little heat, some of the bits he would do, and then they went to the satellite stuff. There's no way he's going to be any good. They paid him $100 million. Remember that, to go do a show?
It was incredible.
And yet he signed like 2 more contracts since then, so obviously it's paid off for Sirius XM.
Yeah,
Right.
it's I don't know. I mean, how much you come from a radio family. Like, what does your dad tell you about how much it's changed to now? Do you talk about that even?
Well, he's 89, so we don't talk about a lot of things. But
But when
How
you did,
do those conversations go?
we talk about bourbon and the Steelers, pretty much. But
We've always had bourbon and the Steelers.
But those guys, I mean, my dad and his partner, they did a lot of stuff that was making fun of groups that, and it was all in like the kindest, like the coming from the right place, right?
Right.
But they did stuff that would not work now.
Well,
It was
think
like
about this.
imitating different races, sexualities.
Right,
and,
right,
you
right.
know, just-
I had a chance one time. I told somebody this the other day, and we were talking about him. George Carlin. Got a chance. I met him in the hallway at a Salt Lake City Marriott. Believe it or not, we were there to play the Jazz, and he was in town. And as a kid, growing up as a kid in the '60s and '70s, George Carlin was. He was the deal. And so I went, Mr. Carlin, and it was the nicest. But thinking of even George Carlin, how good he was pushing the political buttons on both sides. There's no one doing that. It's either everybody's way over here, or everybody's way over here. He didn't care. If he thought you had any hypocrisy in your life, George went right after it. I don't know who does that now. To be honest
well,
with
I
you.
mean, South Park does it. That's it.
South
it's not
Park
a radio
does it.
show. South Park doesn't care, but they've got a little leniency because that's cartoon.
Did you say a little
kids.
weenie?
Well,
leniency.
Ricky Gervais comes to mind a little bit when you're talking about
Yeah.
that doesn't care who he offends.
Well, he did that on the Golden Globes,
Yeah,
right? He
yeah.
kind of went out there and said, "Hey, I got to ask you guys a question because we've all been in sports forever and ever, and it's pertinent, especially since you got Mark here now, who is a lifetime Steelers fan. We loved him when Elway went into the Steelers and beat them right in the
Enjoyed it
AFC
immensely.
Championship. We loved that one, and then we hated
Good
when the Steelers came to Denver and
your
beat Jake Plummer.
Roethlisberger guy back in 05.
Yeah, and beat them there. But when did wide receivers? I mean, give me an era, because you had Stallworth, you had Swan.
Don't tell Dave Logan that. Dave Logan hates Swan.
I know he hates Swan.
I remember. I'll never get the day I let it slip that I love Lynn Swan, and Dave's face went so red.
He was like jealous, but when it was Cleveland Pittsburgh thing too.
Oh, yeah.
We had fun because Terry Bradshaw came in, and we had to like draw straws to tell Dave that his Steeler was on his show. Do you remember that? We told
Yeah, you had
Dave
Bradshaw?
Yeah, we had Brad because he wrote a book, and he came in and
I played golf with him once.
Yeah, and so Scott and Terry were having a lot of fun, and we go,
And Dave just wants
man,
to
the other
kill him."
co-host probably wouldn't have allowed that, and Terry was like, you gotta let it go, and we was like, well, he hasn't.
But was that not the cool? Was that also not the cool part of that era of sports?
Yeah.
that teams actually did hate each
I
other.
would prefer it that way than.
Because
hey, let's
they're-
trade jerseys. Hey, you just knocked us out of the playoffs. Can I get your jersey?
Yeah, let's swap
Oh,
jerseys.
that bothers me.
Yeah,
But
that
we're
bothers-
old. They
But
don't
my
care.
question: when did? Give me an era, give me a year, give me a time frame when wide receivers. It's now accepted the wide receivers are prima donnas. When did that start? Why? And you got
tell you
Antonio
when.
Brown. I mean, you got Drew Rosenhaus. The in my opinion, one of the scummiest agents that's lived.
Right.
Dropped him.
Right. Hey, yeah, that reminds me of there's the 7 levels of hell
Yeah,
that
right.
guy does. Or no, it's the 7 levels of drunkenness. I'm sorry, the 7 levels of drunkenness.
Well, what
one of
was
the
what was
comedians do.
Dante's Inferno? You went through a bunch of
That
levels.
was part of it too,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was funny because in the 7 levels of drunkenness, you hit a level of drunkenness. This comedian says it's so bad, even the devil's checking out of where you're going into. I got a thing and hell with Saddam Hussein. I gotta go. Yeah, that's the same version of if Drew Rosenhaus tells you
I'm
you're
dropping
too
you,
yeah,
you
you're
need
too
rehab.
Controversial for me. Then you better look at your life. You want to know when wide receivers became divas? I'll tell you when.
Michael Irvin.
No, when you couldn't hit them anymore. You can't hit them anymore. They can be as flashy and as brash or whatever as they want because what are they going to suffer? What consequences are they going to suffer?
Well,
for
listen,
it?
Michael Irvin was probably prima donna, but he seemed like he still played.
But he was tough.
Terrell
He wasn't
Owens,
afraid.
kind of same area. He started
who was going
becoming
to hit him? He was the size of a tight end. He's one of those.
Ocho Cinco. All of a sudden, change your name to Ocho
I
Cinco
like
from
him.
Chad Johnson.
That might- me
That
laugh.
might be right where it started. 'cause
Right in there.
because when I'm thinking about Steelers wide receivers, I'm thinking about Hines Ward, and that wasn't it.
No,
right?
he wasn't in there.
Right about the same time was Chad Ochocinco, and the name.
But are they not like? I mean, look at Odell Beckham at the national championship game
Right.
after LSU
Right.
wins. Fun game. What a great game. Going around giving dudes cash. I mean, come on, man.
and you
Dancing
know-
in the locker room with the guys.
You know what I thought was so stupid is that we hear the next day, oh, it was fake money. And I saw the linebacker he added the money to when he was in the middle of the field. Looking at that kid, that was not. I knew right then it wasn't fake money.
Right.
The look on his face, he got slapped a hundy. And
Well-
then Joe Burrow. Who are you more mad at? Odell Beckham for doing that thing, or Joe Burrow going on the podcast and going, "Oh no, it was real cash."
Well,
but
he
I'm
goes-
not in school.
He goes,
anymore.
"I'm not in school no more. I'm cool. Don't worry about." Listen, Joe Burrow did seem like he broke a code, but then you got that one Texas linebacker came out also on Fox. He goes, "Oh yeah, we were promised $1,000 if we got an interception in 2010 in the championship game." So the key of the good and the bad of what's going on now. There's so many people because the snitches and stitches thing.
Yeah.
You can't say that anymore.
No.
But guess what? Guys now just throw everything out there.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
but on one thing for people in kind of doing what we do, cool. But for me, did you honestly not know?
I know. A lot of people do believe sports was. Well, hey, look, if we're going to get into all this, how about what's
Hey,
going
can
on
I get
with
you
this?
another water before we go on?
I'd like a bourbon. I'd like a 10th Mountain bourbon, frankly. So,
This makes Twitter better. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
It's our guy Marty.
Oh, Marty!
It's the
another part of the zoo crew.
Marty's going to come out here and be part of this one night, aren't you, Marty?
He wants a maker's mark. He wants
want
some with
Mountain.
candy.
I want that 10th Mountain, wherever the logo is.
Yeah.
That 10th Mountain bourbon he's got, please.
Put it on the rocks because he
no
usually
matter what
drinks
I say,
candy.
I get that look out of you. You know what? Frozen's awful.
Eleanor.
I was just trying to see if I could get it out of both of them.
He says he doesn't like Frozen.
Oh, she laughs. Yes. So anyway, no. How about what's going on in baseball? Look, man, I assume there's some sort of trying to get by, some sort of trying to push the rules, if not break them a little bit, going on in every.
And by the way,
sport.
you have the dumbest take on this baseball thing in the world.
About it, then.
No, finish. Tell everybody your take. $50 million and kick them all out of baseball forever?
I didn't say that. Where'd you
Well,
get that from?
Josh Dover.
No. Yeah, Josh, that wasn't it. Now, I do think $5 million is not enough of a fine.
Why?
Because $5 million is not even a good second baseman these days. You think that's going to deter the owner?
Well, you lost 2 draft picks too.
So what? What is the actual percentage that those things make it to that the draft pick makes it to the major leagues?
Mark could talk about this too, but what's the point anyway? Who cares?
Did you hear what came out today, or have you been in a
No. I listen
with the device?
Yeah, well, I've seen Altuve with the hole in the
right.
No,
yeah, don't rip the jersey off. I'm wearing a wire.
In case you meant it, don't they put a thing on there?
A Nicorette patch.
It beeps on him or buzzed him.
I don't know what $5 million means to an owner, but this has been a scorched earth freaking reaction to all these sort of bad things that have been done.
And it's great for baseball.
3 managers, two general managers that have been.
Yeah.
Well, one for sure.
One general manager. So
3 managers.
What do you think? What do you think the remaining managers standing right now are thinking about this?
Oh, I think they're all freaking out because. Here is the thing. Until what we got today, when it was just the
Yankees, the Yankees have been thrown in there too. I haven't seen them release their manager yet.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Who's connected to the Yankees?
This might not be done yet.
No, are you kidding me?
Where did Beltran play his last year that beat the Red Sox 4-0? If you go back and listen to his former coach who was in Houston.
Beltran's out with the Mets. He's out.
Listen to what I'm saying. Beltran's last year, though, played with the Yankees. And the manager,
so you think the Yankees were in on it.
The manager for the Cora,
okay, Cora's with the Red Sox.
God, you know what? You'd be so wonderful if you ever let anybody finish what they were saying.
Please go ahead.
So Cora, in the post-game interview after being swept by the Yankees, goes, "Listen, it's the same team last year. They're better than last year, but the only thing they added was Beltran." And he goes, "And you know what he's about."
Right.
So the Yankees knew. I haven't seen anything for the Yankees going down yet.
Okay, but I don't know.
You don't think Beltran brought that? He said, "Listen, we won a World Series last year,
right?
And here's what we did. Here's what you got to think about."
Okay, so I'll just ask you because Nate was saying today. Nate Kreckman, my partner on the radio, he thinks we've got tight lips from a lot of the offices of baseball and all the teams because there's probably a lot of this going on. But do you think it's to the point of the center field cameras with the devices and the uniforms?
Do you doubt anything? I was shocked by this. Do you guys doubt that this could be going on at 5 or 6 other clubs?
No.
I think 5 or 6 other clubs may be the only ones not doing it.
Listen, like last June, we're talking about the baseball's wound too tight. Because in the launch angle and
home runs, maybe they knew the pitches.
Maybe baseball's vindicated in the fact that it wasn't the baseballs. Maybe it was this.
Oh no! Now I will say this. So our buddy Daniel Schlereth was in the minor leagues for a while, and he could tell you definitely feel the difference between baseballs, and the seams are definitely lower, and it's more like a pool ball in the majors. But to me, I wonder. Did baseball kind of get a sniff that there was some stuff going on with the cheating and the stealing of the signs, so they let us chase the wound baseball things for a while so we wouldn't figure out what they were really doing? I don't think
real fast we'll get back to baseball. Nuggets down 19 in the first quarter. Way to come out. I will just say this. Who cares? You know who cares? Seam heads that no one really listens to anyway. Sorry, it's the NFL and other sports. But 2, does baseball not thrive after a scorched earth? Don't forests supposedly replenish themselves after a scorched earth? Pete Rose, baseball survive after Pete Rose? A manager gambling on baseball? No way you're ever going to. They came back bigger than anything. How about when Sammy Sosa and Mark Aguirre?
I was going to say.
You're both on steroids. Oh, and Sammy your bet you split that year and had cork in
You're
it.
saying the Sammy and Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds thing was good for baseball?
It was
No,
a
I'm just
steroid
saying.
era.
I'm just saying. We make a big deal of it, and it's nothing. No one cares. It goes on.
I had a number
Baseball's
of grievances
more popular.
about baseball before this. I'm annoyed with the 3-hour games.
Yeah.
I'm really annoyed with the 4-hour
You
games.
have no patience.
I'm annoyed with.
How'd you like that
wanting to
4-hour national
digitize
championship
the-
game?
I'm annoyed. I didn't like that either. I'm annoyed with them trying to digitize the strike zone. I'm annoyed that the coastal cities can just go buy a National League West title if the race is too close at the trading.
True.
And then now you add this, and I'm almost out, man. I'm
Okay, hold on.
almost out.
Okay, and you know what? No one will care. But let me just throw this out.
La-da-da.
Well, I'm not being mean. I'm just being honest. Pete Rose, they survived that? That's gambling on the game.
That was a spec, man. That was.
Now, hold
that
on.
was
I'll ask you
nothing
this.
compared to
Do you think
this.
Pete Rose the only guy that did that?
I don't, but do you think it was interesting? Pete Rose piped in this week about this.
Well, no, I don't, because he wants to say, listen.
He's like, at least I didn't do that.
At least I didn't do it. I didn't cheat the game. I talked to an old NFL quarterback, and I'll tell you, I think he's still alive, so I don't want to throw him out there. And he was told me in the 70s how many guys were saving points in the NFL. And he mentioned name. One name was very, very Dave Lent. Red Right 83 or whatever that 88 the play was, and it ends up getting picked off the end zone. His name. So to me, they survived the betting scandal. Steroids, they survived the steroids.
Well, because we like home runs.
Every time there's a scorched earth,
did.
everybody gets up, and then all of a sudden, guess what? It goes away, and no one cares.
You're right about that, but I will say what's going to be interesting to watch from here. When did baseball take a major dive? When they canceled the World Series because of the player strife. A lot of fans were hacked off about that. The home run chase between McGuire and Sosa rose that thing back up. So this affected a World Series.
But
so
Andy,
we'll see.
Andy, they've been having trouble with ticket sales the last 2 or 3 years.
Well, but so are all sports. Let's be honest about this. Why in the heck would you go to a game and go through all the headache that it is to go to a game? Whether even the Broncos had to report 19,000 no-shows to a game one time this year.
A, they sucked. B, you still go to the game because there's a juice you get out of being live at a performance.
I don't think the younger
Well,
generation cares because they're in their phone the whole time.
well,
What
yeah,
juice
yeah.
are they getting out of that? You know what they're getting? You know the juice they're worried about? The juice in your Wi-Fi that won't let them connect.
Yeah. Well, but that's fine. They aren't going to
Okay.
they aren't going to buy a ticket anyway. Now it may affect the leagues in 20 years, or also they go, well, I've never been to a game. These things. I got a buddy who knows more about music than all of us combined. I mean, he's idiot savant when it comes to music. He's been to like one concert in his life live. He's downloaded. I'll put protective covering on my face right now. Something like over 360,000 albums illegally. I mean, he goes, the Japanese do it best. They redigitalize them. They're the best ones to download and steal from. I mean, he's the king of this stuff. He doesn't go to concerts. He never go. So there's going to be all these people who do that. So anyway, Doobie Brothers are coming town. Hey, see you guys.
Goodbye to the Millers. Hey, meet the Millers.
Meet the Millers. Oh, hey, what's her name?
I don't know. Yeah, you left the most important one.
But anyway, he's going to the Doobie Brothers. He says, "Hey, Doobie Brothers, come to Denver." I go, dude, they're 75. they're old as heck. And he's fired up. I said, you missed their window about 30 years ago.
There's probably one original. Have you seen the Doobie Brother?
Well, I know. Well, maybe. Might be so.
Yeah, that's the old Dumb and Dumber. Don't you go dying on me now. Middle of a show. No, but I saw a report. We talked about it on the show for a minute. There's a report that baseball teams are thinking about going to smaller stadiums, smaller capacity, trying to make the tickets more valuable.
What happens?
They cannot get people
seats.
through a turnstile.
What
You look at the Yankees, Scott. Look at the empty seats behind the whole plate at a Yankees game.
But look at the numbers they're doing on television, and they're still making $500 million a year.
So it doesn't matter.
The
gate doesn't matter anymore.
People like Andy are lazy.
TV runs sports, whether we like it or not. Look at the NFL. The NFL is paying billions of dollars, or the TV's paying the billions of dollars to the NFL. People don't even realize this. I don't think people realize that the salary cap, that's the cut that owners get in TV money.
Yeah.
The owners get from TV the money they need to pay their players.
So think about it. All the revenue that comes to the games is extra cashola for the owners. So who cares if they don't go, as long as the TV's paying the money. Now, by the way,
yeah,
video ruined the radio star.
It did because of all this right here. Not a lot of.
Killed the radio star.
I ain't dead yet, but it did.
No,
ruin
you
it.
don't. That was a video.
Video killed
yeah.
the radios. Mr. Buggles or something. What was that?
The Buggles.
Oh,
The
the
Buggles.
Buggles. Well, there was a Mr. probably.
There was a Mr. Big.
Yeah.
Mr. Big was
Remember
big
them?
for a while. Yeah,
And
oh, I
there was
do.
What about
Mr.
Wham?
It's,
Hey.
you got the gist. The gist. You know what? Let me just tell you about my career. I'm not in the extremely accurate. I'm more into the gist of things. That's kind of been my career for 20 years.
You want to be in the neighborhood. Look, the story's better if I liven some things
I want to
up,
be
okay? Let me tell you, the
comments.
real story is boring.
You got the gist.
Yes. And I threw a joke in. I had someone was going to ask you about.
Look
it, and I
how mad
completely
Michael
spaced
Malone
it.
is right
Oh,
now.
he's so irate.
Scott, are you glad you're not in San Francisco right now?
No, I actually like San Francisco to visit, but never want
Oh,
to
I
live
love
there.
the city to visit. But now, what are you thinking about this arena? So the Nuggets are playing in Golden State. Has it lost any of its intimidation factor? Have you been there? I mean,
No.
is it? It's
This
kind
is
of the
their
wine
first
and
game
cheese.
there.
Is it? Okay.
No, I tell
Well,
you what.
Charles Barkley was talking about how you're going to have a wine and cheese crowd here, and it ain't going to
Well,
be the same as the rowdiness in the
listen.
Oracle.
Oakland, kind of like we'll see what happens in
Vegas
for
when
the
everyone's
Raiders.
gambling and no one's
because,
at your game.
because Oakland is a blue collar city.
Yeah,
that is
golf
a
applause when
blue.
they get a touchdown.
Yeah.
The signs like and yeah.
Applaud.
Please clap.
Please clap. Please clap.
Cocaine dust flying in the air all over the place. Now, and listen,
That's how they line that field in Vegas.
that's how they
Well,
line
you
that
know.
field in Vegas. Hey, that guy keeps diving for the 5. Wonder why? I don't know. All right, so we talked about a little bit of everything. I had one more thing I was going to ask you. So anyway, we talked about the
Cheating.
the divas,
In the divas.
wide receivers and divas. You like the cheat. Cheating don't matter. Last thing, you're the Denver Broncos.
Yes, sir.
Would you give everything in the world up for Joe Burrow?
I'd get close. He's an anticipatory thrower. You got to like a lot of what you saw. Don't you? You know what? I'll say this because we're on
That's a
Twitter.
big word, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Hey,
You
education.
used to have no vocabulary.
Well, then I broke away from the clutches of one Scott Hastings and educated myself. You can do better, young people. Did you kind of like the cigar after the game? Did you kind of like him just being Mr. like the throwback to Joe Cool? Or is that a bad look?
And there goes OBJ again. Not only is he giving out money, then he slaps a policeman on his butt. Now there's a.
Well, I don't think he realized it was a cop. I think he just thought it was some
he
trainer
did.
or
Come
something.
on. In dark blue with.
Then
with
why did he when the
dark
dude-
dark blue with a
But
bulletproof vest
the guy
on?
was bent over. When he stood up and turned around, OBJ gave that look that we'd all give if we just smacked a cop on the ass. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Don't bend over in a locker room, Scott, right?
Yeah,
Whoa.
well, some of us did it on purpose. Just hoping. I don't know. But do you give away Burrow for anything
Give
in the
away
world?
Burrow for what? Like what?
I don't think
Is-
you can,
well-
if you're Cincinnati, do you take anything?
I'll
for Joe
give you.
Burrow?
I'll give you a what happened. This is true life. Irvin Magic Johnson was drafted out of Michigan State by the Los Angeles Lakers. Jack McCluskey, the general manager of the Pistons, offered him everybody on his team.
Gave him a Mike Ditka deal.
No, I'm literally. I mean, no, I don't mean
The whole
just,
team.
He said you have the whole team. you could have the whole team. He was willing to take Magic, and I'll just find 4 other guys. You could have all 12 players. I'll take Magic. That's what he offered him. And the Lakers said, no thanks.
Well,
Wouldn't Cincinnati do the same? If
What-
you're
well-
Cincinnati, why are you giving him up?
Let me just say this, Andy. What if the Bengals got clever, which they are not?
Right. That ain't happening.
And they came to you, the Broncos general
Sure.
manager, and said, "We're going to give you Joe Burrow, and we want Drew Lock and Philip Lindsay."
Done.
Really?
Was I supposed to think about that? I'm sorry. Did you
Yeah.
watch the guy play?
Have you seen Philip Lindsay play?
I have, but I love. And
Are
I
you
love
not-
Phil.
you're not a fan of Drew?
No, I love Phil, and I'm fine with Drew. But I just think Joe Burrow is the guy right now.
What if they also wanted? What if they also wanted one more piece?
Von Miller. Okay.
You already want to get rid of Von Miller.
What,
though.
no, I don't want to get rid of Vaughn. I'm one of the few guys that thinks it's stupid. I want Vaughn to be here his whole career. I think you let him finish it out. I don't like. I think what the
right,
Raiders did.
let me try to
what
make
the
this
Raiders did was stupid because you traded a guy that you then tried to draft the replacement for. What? Then why'd you trade
I just
the guy?
want to make this a harder question for you. Okay, the Bengals want Drew Lock.
Yeah.
They want Philip Lindsay.
Sure.
And they want Cortland Sutton.
Okay.
And a first-round pick.
All right.
And you're doing it?
Joe Burrow looked pretty darn good.
Okay.
That's a lot. So let me ask this: Detroit
This is a class full of tackles and receivers.
So and here's the bad thing. There was a question on BTI or one of the shows. If you're Joe Burrow, we saw Eli Manning do it. We saw John Elway do it. You say, hey, by the way, Cincy, I'm not going there. Now, he will not do that because he's from Ohio. There's no way this would ever happen. He's from Ohio. There's no way he's going to do that. He's got 2 states that absolutely love it. The biggest cheers coming from that championship game was Louisiana and Ohio. Favorite son. So he's not going to do it. But if he were, what do you want to say? Don't draft me first? Because then there's Washington going, lesser 2 evils. You're playing Cincinnati or Washington. Okay. I'd honestly rather play in Cincinnati. With this owner that Washington's
out
there.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Did you see his controversial tweet, Joe Burrow's, about Skyline Chili?
Oh.
He said it sucks.
What's wrong with that?
That's the biggest thing in Cincinnati. That's like their big food is Skyline Chili.
And he says it sucks. But you know where he's been? He's been in the land of the greatest food in the world.
Okay, I'm fine. But
you're going to go get a bad hot dog in Ohio.
Let me throw this off you guys.
You get a bad hot dog in Ohio with some ugly chili.
If Tua's able to throw and your doctors give you the ironclad guarantee he's going to be able to play, because this was on all the big sports shows this week, do you go Tua or do you go Joe Burrow?
Does the doctor get fired? Does the doctor get fired?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I love Tua, but man, I can't trust that hip. There's no way. There's no with the first overall pick.
Happening. It's not. Tua's
by the way,
happening.
did you hear about Tua's hip? One of the surgeons came out and they were able to get that hip back in place within a couple hours of it going out of place. They say if you can't get it back in place, eventually that hip dies, and it's called some sort of
That's what Bo Jackson had.
Yeah, it was dipped there. Yeah, because
Marcosis.
But was that what it is?
No, I just made that up.
Oh, it sounded
Roll
great.
with it. Roll
with it.
It was hipiomycardiosis, Scott.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
Edit that in.
But how about this? They said that Bo Jackson's, they didn't get his hip back in for 3 weeks.
Oh, my God.
Which meant he was walking around after he got it knocked out.
I was told he was still playing. Like, he didn't get it fixed because he wanted to keep playing. Dude, Bo Jackson
for
is
3 weeks.
Crazy tough.
Which I'm telling you, to me, Bo Jackson, all these lists that say greatest athletes there, Bo Jackson, go back and just look some of the stuff he did. Forget about, baseball all-star, Pro Bowl football player, blah, 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 blah. The dude was like the 60-meter champion in the SEC in
pretty good.
Sprints.
Pretty good. Okay, so you guys, what are you doing? Are you taking the deal? Are you taking the deal?
I wouldn't. No, I don't want Burrow. I think we have what we need. I don't say we have what we need to have. I think what the Broncos need is an offensive line. They don't need.
Yeah, I would say the only reason I would say no is because it don't matter. I mean, everybody's all crazy about Drew Lock, what he did, and if you look at the same 5 games that Simeon started with, he had the same record, almost identical numbers, identical touchdowns, and what got Simeon, and because you were in the locker room at the time, he started getting beat the hell up, and he got gun shy. He got scared, and if they don't address their offensive line, like Mark just said, they're SOL.
Nobody wants to
David Carr
walk into a street fight every game, and that's what he was doing. I won't go off on Simeon because I love him, and not everybody does, but that's one of the toughest dudes I have ever been around. Real quickly, so I keep hearing this thing. Have you got a Peleton?
No, I love the commercials.
I love the commercials, and it's the only thing I've ever thought I'd want to spend $350 and $36 a month on is a Peleton.
So what I'm curious about is, and they're $3,500.
Oh, $3,500.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ask your boy Ryan Harris.
Well, I know he's got one.
Can you get us one, Ryan?
He's rich.
But here's the thing: we got to find out from
He
Ryan.
made $8.5 million this last year.
I know he did pretty well. I've now seen 2 or 3 commercials that kind of take shots at the mean teachers, the mean instructors from Peloton. So we've got to find out if they're like mean to you while you're riding the bike. And can you be intimidated by an exercise instructor that's not in the room with you?
Who just takes that from a video screen?
I know.
Like, pop off right back.
Don't you just go to hell?
Yeah, we're finding out that we're having to replace a lot.
I'm in my basement right now, and I have to go to work in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Shut up!
I have to take the bus because I bought this stupid thing.
I got out of bed for this, asshole.
This class sucks. You're ugly.
Now, you know what? That goes to the next level. A Peleton does like a communication device that you can go back live to the teacher.
You can send an emoji to the teacher.
Yeah.
Just send the poo emoji at him or something. I don't know. But I'm just curious.
Does it not make you want to get in shape?
The Peloton? Not you yelling at me.
I mean, if that doesn't.
Look, me watching this video back is what'll motivate me, you SOB. I was just curious. I want someone to tell us,
I'd love to have a Peleton, but honestly, I thought it was like $375, not $3,500.
Oh, are you kidding me?
It's like $3,500 and then $36 or $40 a month.
Yeah, for the guy to apparently yell at you.
$60 a month? So you're paying another $720 a year just to be screamed at.
To have a mean teacher.
See, you're spending $720 a year to hang clothes on because that's all they become, right?
See, if we were doing the zoo still, we'd do a bit of the mean Peloton teacher.
That's right.
There goes Hastings again. Do you like the smell of ass because you're in the rear one more time?
It'd be Chick McGillicuddy teaching a Peloton class.
Come on. Okay, you guys keep going. I'm going to have to take a break. Hey, I smelled some fat guy in Denver just got on.
But before you guys go, and I know you guys kind of still.
We're not leaving you.
Yeah, I know you guys. You're stuck in the corner.
Yeah, you're in the crew now.
I know you guys hate talking sports. Can you guys weigh in on the conference championship games? Who do you got?
For what conference?
How about
What are
the
we doing?
AFC and the NFC?
Those things.
What conference? He said.
Dude, can I say something? Hey, listen, I love football and I will watch the games, but the Broncos are in. You know how I'm going to watch the games?
Sipping a bourbon.
Sipping a bourbon.
For the podcasters out there. Oh, yeah, checking your phone. And then liking things on Instagram.
You don't care? You're not excited to see these games this weekend?
No.
You know why?
Really?
No.
Can I tell you what has me bothered? Because you know my hate for this.
Can you narrow it down to one?
Just for football, I hate the Chiefs with the burning white passion of 5 sons.
I'm cheering for them.
And I honestly have no idea how they're going to get stopped. So I'm not sure. We got to go to the Super Bowl. I don't want to go cover a Chiefs Super Bowl.
Wait. Hold on. We are going to the Super Bowl?
I'm going to the Super Bowl. Your guy here is going to Brooklyn.
Now, how do you guys get to go to the Super Bowl?
I don't know. I just was told we're going to the Super Bowl. Hey, dude, you haven't heard about all this?
No,
man.
No,
you guys,
man.
You all got to tune in. I'm bringing the camera. We're apparently renting a house and living in it like the real world house. All right? We're going to have a puck. We're going to have a daisy. I don't know.
Why'd you point at me when you said Daisy?
We got to. What were some of those guys from the Jersey Shores?
Right.
We're going to have a Polly. You can be a Polly.
Polly.
You can be Polly.
The unit.
Was it the unit? You're the unit. See, you're going to be the.
This is Miami.
Toolsy McCoy.
You guys have a house in Miami?
Yes, we got an Airbnb.
Oh,
and then Dave, our guy Dave, just got told he's going down too. So now the boss is coming. So now we're going to see what happens when you quit being polite and you start being real.
So who else going?
Me and Ryan and Vic and maybe Nate and Dave.
Thanks for getting the boss out of town for a
Wow.
week. You know where the real party's going to be is back in.
I want you to go.
Oh, no, I wasn't invited.
Last time
I wasn't invited.
Last time that we all went up to the mountains and we hung at the cabin, I had a 40-year-old Marty Cesario sleeping in a top bunk like a 5-year-old. He kept talking to me like your brother. Like, do you remember how your brother would look down and talk to you at summer camp or something? Marty kept doing that. I was like, Marty. And I kept laughing because I was like, dude, you're 40. Quit Quit ducking your head over.
Yeah.
He was in the top. Well, he's smaller than I am.
Wasn't that the
Trust
day
me, it's not safe for you to be in the bunk below me. We all know that.
that chick came up there, rode his motorcycle, but brought us a bottle of Sazerac or something like that?
Yeah. Then she dropped the bike.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, he may have dropped it. Hey, real
That was
fast,
a bad
we got to give a
real fast.
shout out to Mark.
45 minutes later.
Shout out to Mark and Chris at Southside Pizzeria. We try to do
Come and
this
see
most
us.
Thursday, Tuesday. Come and see us. Great pizza. Got some pizza over there and stuff. And but Southside Pizzeria, these guys are good dudes. And if you want to
And they
learn,
got great bourbon.
And if you want to learn about bourbon, these guys are a good way to start. Hey, let's see if we can get one over. Hey,
Chris.
Hey, Sarah.
give him a holler.
See if Chris will come over. We got in trouble Didn't you get in
Yeah.
trouble last week because you put Sarah Billy on?
No, Sarah came over. I just got uncomfortable because Sarah and I
I thought you said people complained that we got a pregnant lady, here that we've kind of adopted, the Zoo Crew redo.
Yeah,
have kind of adopted
buddy,
Sarah.
Big Country didn't like that we were rubbing her belly.
Oh, that's right. Daddy.
You can rub her belly all you want.
Hey, Chris, I got a question. We ought to do this every time we come here at Southside Pizzeria. You come and give us the bourbon of the week. Just throw us some bourbon.
There. It's not going to bite you.
Yeah,
you need to say it into the mic.
Yeah, it won't shock you either. You can come over and talk.
He does not want to do. Hey, Mark.
Give us a bourbon of the week.
Chris's camera shy.
Oh, look at him.
I told you.
That's called spontaneity.
Yeah.
Hey, you weren't. What's that thing in the?
Can I tell you what happened? I thought that was Mark, and I called for Chris, and now we got. I meant
You got Chris.
I know.
So now you're embarrassed.
Turns out I meant Mark. I still got him confused.
Why would you admit that live? They're going to come back and watch
he
this
doesn't
now.
know.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Hey,
right.
yeah,
I'll edit it out.
You'll edit it.
Go ahead.
Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare. All right.
That's our
It's
bourbon
got a
of the
sweet
week.
bottle too, huh?
It does have a cool bottle.
It's delicious stuff for the price.
It is a good bourbon for the
Yeah.
price.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
What's Cheryl and Bill drinking up there?
Beer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's not fun. Anyway.
Hey, Bill. Bill's telling me what bourbon I'm drinking. He's drinking a Coors Light. Is there something wrong with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Just end this thing.
You drinking a Coors Light?
You're telling us what bourbon to drink, and you're drinking a Coors Light?
Having a Coors Light?
I'm not drinking Coors Light.
Oh, okay.
My wife drinks Coors Light. she's a native. She knows no better.
Sports local.
East Coast, I drink everything they have on tap.
All right.
God bless
Coors
you.
Light to sober up.
And I'll drink whiskey when she's driving home.
Had a baby.
But you driving tonight, right?
Yeah.
I'm driving.
Okay.
All right.
Bill, by the way, a hero, a fireman.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Bill.
thank you.
All right.
All right, we're going to wrap this up. Come join us next week. We want you to join us. We want people out here. I don't know what to think of tonight. Like 3 tables left, and 2 of them were our friends. So that might not have been a good one.
Yeah, these people stuck around. Of course, somebody was about 45, 50 minutes late.
Yeah.
But they stuck around
Sure.
just to hear the podcast. And then as soon as we started, they went, whoa.
They're like, oh, this is not.
Bill and Cheryl said we
Never
can't
mind.
sit too close, so they sat as
They
far
left,
away as they
yeah.
could. They got up there.
Yeah, all right.
Everybody
All
else
right.
ran out.
Well, I
Oh,
know.
there you
That's
go.
true. That's true. All right, catch us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts. Get the new episode up tomorrow.
Tell
Till
your
then,
friends.
Goodbye from Southside Pizza for
Pizzeria.
for Mark Andrew, for Scott. Thank you to Julia and Jeremiah.
Who are you? And
I'm
Sarah,
Andy.
Pregnant? Do we want to say
But
pregnant? Hey, you know what
you
we
know
could do?
me.
You know that one production coming? They said,
Bye.
remember the old production coming? Mark said,
Yeah.
sit, Ubu, sit.
Yeah.
We could
Ubu,
do
sit.
that with Sarah. We could go, at the end of it, we show
Tell
her
her to sit?
pregnant belly. We go, sit, Sarah, sit. Yeah, she's walking up and down like a crazy day. We're going to have a drop.
Take a load off, Sarah.
Take a load off, Sally. Oh,
Say goodbye now.
goodbye now.